Thanks, but I did not yet begin, so on the trust. So first of all, let me, before having the speech on behalf of Minister Lorenzin, have my personal greetings to the Slovenian colleagues, and was personally involved last year in organizing the Open Forum in Rome, and despite that was considered a success, I see already from the beginning that our Slovenian colleagues are doing better. So thanks for you and for your work. Now I moved my official role, and unfortunately Minister Lorenzin was involved in another very important institutional international meeting, and she would like to join you through this speech that I take the freedom to read. I'm really honored to participate, even at distance, with other colleagues at the opening of the Open Forum 2013 of the European Partnership Action Against Cancer, EPAAC, that closes the joint action of the European Health Programme. I would like to address my greetings and my special thanks for this invitation to my Slovenian colleagues and to his collaborators who have organized this forum with great care and competence. Qualities, however, that we have constantly appreciated during these years of joint action coordination. We consider the cooperation in EPAAC as a successful experience and an excellent starting point for other important and fruitful collaborations, notably the already planned new joint action on cancer, CANCON, that was already been mentioned by the Minister, which will take advantage of the precious Slovenian coordination in which Italy will still play a leading role. The commitment and contribution that Italy has given and will give to this project is about the fight against cancer, particularly at the European level, fully corresponds to a priority we give to this subject in our governmental action in health. Cancer represents a major burden of disease. Data are very clear. In Italy, every year about 200,015 new cases are diagnosed, and this number is steadily increasing, partly due to progressive aging of population. Unfortunately, nearly 170,000 Italian citizens die every year because of cancer. Cancer is also responsible for 30% of all deaths, and is the second leading cause of death, the first among adults and the second among the elderly. Luckily, despite these worrying numbers, there are also positive news. Over the last decades, cancer mortality has decreased, a positive trend already present in the early 70s among young people and later extended to adults. These successes are due to the great progresses made in the field of research, prevention and treatment, and also to a more efficient and target planning of intervention and resources. This is witnessed in particular by the definition of a global national plan against cancer, which is referring to both aspects of prevention and treatment, clinical and organizational aspects. The plan engages both central government and local health authorities in a process carrying out specific and detailed actions. Statistics tell us that in Italy, the 5-year survival from diagnosis of cancer reached 53%, with a reduction of mortalities in all areas of the country. As an example, in Italy, in 1990, 40 women out of 100,000 died every year because of breast cancer. Today, this figure has reduced to 20. Improvements of similar proportions were recorded for diseases such as colorectal cancer, and we achieve an 80% survival in case of cervical cancer. So cancer is today a disease that can be cured. This radical change of perspective is evidenced by the results for which we have a more comfortable data of 1.3 million Italians healed, meaning that cancer is no longer to be considered an incurable disease. Prevention is the best weapon we have to defeat cancer. It must be part of our life, of our habits, in particular concerning lifestyle, nutrition, correct physical activity, performance of screening, and taking care of environment. We need to teach children and their parents that prevention is a duty and not a choice. It is part of our civic responsibilities that each of us takes in relation both to himself and to the society. The challenge of sustainability of our healthcare system consists also in ensuring appropriate services and at the same time keeping everybody healthy. In the context of prevention integrated programs, secondary prevention plays a crucial role. Screening are a fundamental appointment for the entire population. Prevention has enabled millions of women to timely recognize and fight a disease that only a few years ago would have killed them. In these months, I met in the streets thousands of women with T-shirts, pink ribbons, and other witnessing episodes, demonstrating their wish to live and to fight their disease in any way. However, the coverage of regional programs for cancer screening and breast and cervix has improved and increased. Response population toward these prevention activities are encouraging, as indicated by data on breast cancer. In 1 year, 1.5 million women from 50 to 69 have been screened. Specific studies promoted by the Ministry show that the screening program reduced mortality by more than 45%. It is necessary, however, to make even more progresses, with particular regard to overcoming inequalities between different geographical areas of the country, but also between different population groups, as highlighted by regular and sometimes still insufficient geographical coverage of screening programs such as those for colorectal cancer. In Italy, we are working right in these months to a new national prevention plan that will be effectively implemented in every side of the country these provisions. The collaboration with other countries on screening program, one of the issues focused by this forum, can greatly help us to share successful experiences and to build common responses to challenges of greater scope and complexity. I want to emphasize that it is not enough to be more effective in preventing, discovering and treating cancer. We also must set an integrated and multidisciplinary approach to facilitate the completion of the rehabilitation process. The system must provide answers to patients in working age. To these people, we need to ensure one's self-support and support of their families, reconciling at the same time their needs with those needs undergoing the follow-up and the control of the disease. Let me say, however, that science alone is not enough to defeat this disease, but there is also need of humanity. Millions of volunteers every day help families, lonely people, take care of their care pathways in hospitals and sometimes at home, even for years. Volunteers deserve our thanks, but we also have to remind the need for institutions to engage in a better organization of community care, which could allow patients and their family not to be left alone in an often long and exhausting fight against this disease. The fundamental objective is to promote within the health service a person-centered approach inspired by principles and enhancing communication with patients and their relatives. For this reason, in the frame of the new Pact for Health of the National Italian Service, there will be issues such as palliative treatments, pain therapy, and humanization of care. And I also want to emphasize this. We have asked the Prime Minister to include these themes among those of the Italian presidency of the next year. Let me conclude this reflection with the last, but in my opinion, fundamental consideration. At present, where the economic difficulties common to many European member states are increasingly putting in danger or jeopardizing health achievements made over the years, both in terms of people's rights and actual availability of prevention healthcare interventions. European cooperation can stimulate us continuing in a more effective and efficient way to do our efforts and ensuring, despite increasing complexity of the problems, to achieve a better cancer control and to improve quantity and quality of life of people who unfortunately will keep getting sick. Cancer patients, like everyone else, but perhaps in a particular way because of the particular characteristics of this disease, have the right of receiving the best possible services, both in terms of prevention and care. A better collaboration between health systems must ensure that the best knowledge and service capabilities are available as close as possible to the house and the family of patients, avoiding the need of long and painful travels for people already overwhelmed by their disease. I'm strongly confident that this open forum, as well as other action in this partnership, and the one that we follow next year, could make a decisive contribution toward the achievement also of this goal. I wish you a sincere and successful, fruitful meeting. Thanks.